Happiness is a paradox. I'm a victim of this paradox because I have lived this my entire life. The harder we chase happiness directly, the more aware we become that we do not currently have it. And we begin to measure every experience and we start asking ourselves, like, am I happy yet? Is this enough? Why do I still feel empty? And things like that. And the more happiness becomes something we are desperate to obtain, the more distant it can seem for us. And people with the highest levels of well being are often not those who spend their lives focused on improving their own lives. They are the people who focus on improving the happiness and well being of others that are in their lives. And happiness is rarely something we can force into existence. The more it becomes a byproduct of meaningful work, strong relationships, faith, personal growth, service, and the feeling that our lives are contributing to something beyond ourselves. I know this paradox because I have lived it for most of my life. And for years, I believed that I could continue improving myself, accomplishing more, and becoming way more than successful than I was at the time, and building a better life. And through all of that, I would be eventually become something better, and I would reach a point where I finally felt very complete internally, and I treated life like an uphill grind and towards some future version of myself who would be confident, fulfilled, and satisfied. And I constantly searched for ways to make myself better, yet, even after making all that progress, I continued to experience a sense of emptiness in my life. And there is nothing wrong with wanting to improve yourself. Don't get me wrong on this talk that we're having, but self-improvement can become another form of a self obsession. And when every goal is centered around what I can or how I can and what I can like accomplish, look for, gain, all of that um turns you into like a self-preservation mindset. And looking back, I can see how disgustingly selfish that way of living can become. And even when it appears disciplined and very ambitious from the outside, from a third person watching on the inside, it can still be entirely centered on the self. And during my uphill for this, I guess, true meaning, I have learned how important it is to live selflessly and serve other people. And through serving others, I have found a purpose that is greater than my own comfort, my own success, and my own survival. I am no longer living in a way to preserve myself and survive, I guess, my selfish lifestyle. I I'm living with the understanding that my life can make another person's life better. And that shift has given me something the pursuit of personal happiness never could. And when I help someone, encourage them, or show up for them in their lives, or serve them during a difficult moment in their life, I stop thinking about everything I believe is missing in my own life, and I feel connected to something way greater than myself through those moments. And another part of this paradox is that a fulfilling life still includes emotions that are not pleasant. Grief shows that we loved. Disappointment shows that something mattered. Struggle develops strength, perspective, compassion, and gratitude. And a life without pain might feel easier in the moment, but it could also feel very, very shallow and just meaningless. The goal may not to be happy all the time. It may be to build a life that is meaningful enough to contain happiness, sadness, uncertainty, sacrifice, failure, love, service and growth, and through all of that, still believe that the entire experience is worth living. Happiness is not found by constantly asking what life can give us. In all honesty, it is found when we begin asking what we can give to life and to the people around us.